Aston Martin crashed this brand new DB12. It then went to an auction and I bought it and attempted to rebuild it in 24 hours. 10 hours left, but we've failed. And on top of that, the car doesn't start. Even after fitting all new parts, it still wouldn't go. Is that the closest we're gonna get? And 6 months later, it still doesn't run. And we still don't know why. The only thing is, Aston Martin have told us that they did take a rear bumper off a DB12 before and then it didn't start afterwards. Which would say to me that we need to build the complete car up before we even attempt to start it. But the last thing I thought is that we'd be forced to go back to Aston Martin themselves. Right now, I'm building up an oil cooler and an auxiliary radiator which sits just in front of the front left wheel. These parts were available from Aston Martin and easy to get. Oh! Roll clean the oil. That's because this car's only done 39 miles. Now, a lot of these parts that we're fitting at the minute were easy to get because they've been used on previous Aston Martin models, like the DB11. But the reason we've left this car so long before we've got back onto it is because Aston told us that all the parts that are being made for the DB12 are going on to DB12s. So a lot of the parts that we've ordered have been made to order, hence the long wait time. But the good news is, I've got mostly everything now needed to get this car running. Radiator, well, it's an aircon rad. This one is gonna go on here. There is an insane amount of radiators on this car. The engine in it is a 4-litre V8 with 2 turbos on it, but it seems to require a load of cooling. On top of the radiators on the side of the car, and in the middle, there's now one I'm putting on underneath. I have no idea what each of these radiators do, but it's clear when they were developing the car, they obviously needed them. And it doesn't stop there. Along with that lower radiator, there's an upper radiator. I assume both turbos are water cooled and tend to get pretty hot because they're sat on top of the engine. Right, that's an engine rad. An aircon rad. Cooling rad for turbos. More radiators, oil cooling. Radiators on this side, radiators behind that. There's enough radiators for a 5-bedroom house on this car, so it's all on and we're hoping now it's watertight. Now that that's on, we should be able to start building the rest of the car up. I mean, if we're going by Aston Martin's theory that the car won't start without all the bumpers on, I think we should be doing that. But yeah, there's a lot to go on before then. Let's go. More crash bars. This one, a lower one.
Not the camera, the pole.
That's that one fitted. This is a huge moment. Everything seems to be going together. Now, the actual centre crash bar, which the bumper actually mounts to. That needs to go on.
Ambient air temperature sensor. Looks in good condition. Going in its little hole. Look at that.
This is actually a really important sensor. We've had it on some cars where if this isn't plugged in, it can cause loads of issues. The engine management light can be on and the fans are constantly running because the car has no idea what the outside temperature is, so it sort of goes into a safety mode. Now we can start building up all the panels in the engine bay. Loads of covers and air intakes. Now we can put in the air filters and the MAF sensors. These sensors detect how much air is actually flowing through the air filters, and the car then can decide how much fuel to put in to match it. New headlight. Chances of that this needs coding?
Yes.
You reckon?
Yeah.
No.
No.
Oh, it is British though. Might work.
What, can't British do coding?
No. We ain't that clever.
Does that go in there like that?
We're going to plug it in, see if the new headlight works.
Do you think it's going to work or do you think it's going to need coding?
Work.
Optimistic.
And the moment of truth. Whoa!
Is it working?
Yeah.
See? Told you.
Yeah! Indicators. Yeah, all of it's working.
It's the little wins that count, and if the headlight doesn't need coding, we might be lucky with a lot of the other things we're about to fit.
Next job. fixing the seat because the motor spindle got bent in the accident.
After this car was crashed on its PDI inspection, the driver must have been thrown round in the seat, so much so that the seat barely moves now.
It stops there. Let's do it!
Most of the seat actually moves round, but the adjustment up and down, it doesn't seem to like and gets stuck. We tried to fix this previously, but didn't quite get it right. This is controlled by a motor on the bottom and a spindle. Now when we put power to that motor, nothing happens. So just to check that it's not the motor which is the problem, my dad's going to unbolt it from the bottom of the rail and then put power to it then. And we can see it actually works.
Yes.
So the issue must be with the spindle.
Can you see this bend going out like that?
Oh yeah, it is
Bend
slightly bent.
down, isn't it?
You think that's why it's getting caught?
And that's what it's. That's why it's not winding all the way to the end.
Because that spindle is slightly bent from the accident, the motor hasn't got enough power to turn it. So we need to try and get that perfectly straight.
Bob, you're the man. Make that 100% straight.
It's a few hours. Back to
Yeah. Back.
So with the most enthusiasm, Bob got to work on the spindle.
We're going to pop this in the lathe, then we're going to drill a little hole right at the end so we can find its center. We're going to use this little thing called a center drill, and that's going to find the center of our part.
If Bob can fix this, then it saves us a whole new seat rail, because these aren't available to buy separately. So we've got faith that he can do it.
So I don't think that's very bad. There's a little bit of a wiggle around this end. But it's pretty straight here, so I'm going to see if I can take that wiggle out of it.
And bit by bit, Bob was getting the spindle as straight as he could, by small adjustments here and there with a little hammer. And eventually, he got it spot on.
Spot on.
And whilst the seat was out, I wanted to get another job done. The battery on this is absolutely deaded, so I've got a Duracell one. Extreme Agum. The battery in this car is behind the driver's seat and underneath the rear passenger one, so it's a good time to replace it. Yes. Again, these are special AGM batteries, but if you just look at the ampage and the ohm of the original battery, you should be able to match them up to an aftermarket one, and that should work just fine. Any life? But would a new battery help the starting issue? Still nothing. Oh. Let's keep building, let's keep building. Keep building. It wasn't going to be as easy as that, was it? On goes the fixed motor and the spindle that Bob's just done. After that, my dad can put back in the driver's seat. Let's see if that works.
That looks good, doesn't it?
It's going down. Bob fixed it.
All good. Thanks, Bob, at the machine shop. Now we can build up the door cards, but I can't put the door card on just yet because we've got no wing mirror on this side or on the other side because there's damage to them both. Let me show you. So this is the right hand side mirror, which was completely fine. Like everything is on that. The mirror cap, the mirror cap was on it. There was a mirror cap on it. It was a complete mirror. The only thing was missing was the trim underneath, this black trim underneath, which holds the camera in. You can't order that separate. You can't get that separate. Because of that, I had to buy a full new mirror just for this trim here, just for that. The only thing I need to do now is either decide, take the glass out of this one and put it onto that one, or take the bottom trim off of this one and put it on this one, which I think that's going to be the easier option because these are the frameless mirror glasses, which Aston Martin have decided to use because they think they look cooler, but I really don't think anyone's going to notice. I decided to take the trim off the new one. Here's the old mirror. And then put the trim onto the old one. I've got to slide the camera into the trim, then refit it onto the old mirror. Okay, that is together. I can see why the bottom one got lost because it's only held in with the tiniest little clips. So I put a bit of Mansory glue on the back. The only issue is the camera can go in 4 different ways. So I just got to hope I put that camera in the right way. So when I plug it in the car, I'll be able to find out. I can't just plug it in now because you need all 4 cameras around the car to be plugged in to work. We still ain't got the front bumper on. We haven't got the other side mirror on. And yeah, so that isn't going to work. So that was literally a gamble. There should be a marking but there isn't a mark, and they should have done that. Now, instead of the black mirror caps, we've got carbon mirror caps as an upgrade, and I've got to work out how these go in now. The carbon mirror caps, luckily, just clipped on, and that was 2 mirrors ready to go on the car. I've got to slide the wire in, down the door, and then the mirror just bolts on with 3 Torx bolts. I can clip it all into place, and then see if my camera's the right way round. Okay, camera works, but it is the wrong way round. Oh no. Luckily, I was able to just pull off the lower trim a tiny bit, and then adjust the camera to where I think it might be in the right place. And looking at it on screen, I think we got it right the second time. Next thing, onto the driver's side mirror. We plugged that all into its control unit, bolted it in place, but we had a problem with this one. Yeah, this one doesn't work. No. I didn't know whether it was a problem with the actual camera, so I got the old wing mirror and plugged that directly into the wiring to see if that would work. Right. But nothing. Whether the camera was a new one or an old one, it still didn't seem to work. I then plugged the right hand side camera into the left hand side wiring to see if it would work. Oh, that works. And it did. So it's a problem with that. Right, so this is the camera wire here. And if we can plug a camera directly into that, then we can see whether that's if the issue is this wire going down here. If it's not, then we might have a fuse. To plug a camera directly into that wiring, I had to strip this plug apart so I could access the male plug for the camera. And once I stripped it apart, I could pull the wire out of its housing and plug the camera directly into it. Let's go directly into it. Okay, see if that works. But still, it wasn't working. No. Okay. So that doesn't work. Randomly, we thought, let's test the theory of that all the cameras need to be plugged in. So my dad's plugging in the wiring for the front bumper, then I'm gonna go round and plug the camera into that wiring. Let's see if this... All the cameras are the same part number. Let's see if that works. And it actually worked.
Oh my god, guys, it's working.
The right hand one?
All of them, they're all working.
They all work?
They're all working, guys.
No.
Yeah, look, the mirror one's working, everything.
Even this one?
Look, it's working.
What the hell?
You have to have all of them plugged in, but the left one works, but the right one doesn't when the front one isn't plugged in.
So the left wing mirror camera works on its own without anything else being plugged in, but the right camera needs the front bumper wiring to be plugged in and to enable it to work. Really clean door card. That's what we're up against at the minute. And we're hoping it's something stupid like this, which is the reason why this car won't start. Maybe it just needs something plugging in to tell it that it's actually safe to start. We just don't know what that part's going to be. But with the wing mirrors on, we can start adding the door cards, and the car is slowly coming together now. Okay, door cards in. It's still missing a few little things. There's little trims missing out of it, things like that. But we've got some vital bits, which I'm hoping are going to be the reason why this car don't start. So this knee airbag down here has exploded. So I'm going to replace that, plug this one in, and then we've also got one of these as well. So let's get this in first, and we'll try and start it then. If there's anything that's stopping this car from starting, I think it's the airbags. First one out is the knee airbag. Knee airbag out. That's just literally held in with 2 bolts and 1 electrical connector. And to fit it, the electrical connector goes back in, and so do the 2 bolts. But the airbag after this, we've been waiting 6 months for. Right, knee airbag connected. Next one, steering wheel airbag, and that should be all the airbags in the car connected. And what we're looking for after that is the light to go red when we press the foot on the brake, which means that it's all clear to start. Whether that's going to happen or not, I don't know. To get the old airbag out, we just push a screwdriver in to release the clip, and out it comes. This is just a Mercedes airbag with an Aston Martin cover on it. There's the Aston Martin airbag. I'm going to have to put a Mercedes airbag next to it now, because they are exactly the same, and all this is literally a Mercedes airbag with an Aston Martin cover on it. And we waited 6 months for this. Here we go. Let's hope this is part of the reason the car doesn't start. And in. That's every airbag connected. That looks wicked, actually. Let's try that, I guess. See if that goes. We might need to clear codes, but let's see. Let's see what happens. See what happens. So I'm looking for the start-stop button to illuminate red when I put my foot on the brake. There we go. But nothing. Okay, we've still got nothing. I'm gonna plug in the diagnostic tool, see what codes are left, and then if that don't work, we've got to continue with the front bumper. But then I remembered, there's a problem with trying to read this car. Mine won't read this still. It's not got DB12 on there. What we're gonna do, instead of put the bumper on just yet, what we're gonna try and do is plug in everything for the front bumper. Let's plug everything in this loom, and then that should be most of the stuff plugged in. It should trick it to think the front bumper's on. I think when you put your foot on the brake ready to start the car does a load of safety checks to make sure that it's okay to go. Okay. So we're just trying to eliminate all of them now by plugging everything in. Let's see if this works. Yeah, there's nothing.
What about the rear view mirror? Just in case.
Surely it can start without a rear view mirror.
If you can't see behind you, might not let you go forward.
Let's plug into dips and it might tell us.
Plug into dips?
Yeah, we're going to plug. Let's plug into dips and it might tell us if we've got any crash data still on there or something. Now Dips' diagnostic tool will read the Aston Martin.
So I've cleared all the faults and we've now got 1 on airbag, 3 on anti-lock brakes, 1 on ECU and 1 on instrument. So we'll just go to airbag first because I just want to see what that fault is.
Is that crash data?
ABS, we've got a bunch of faults as well.
Now this would make sense. The airbag faults are linked to the ABS faults due to this module in the centre of the car, the airbag module. This is bolted to the lowest point of the car in the middle, and it takes information from the wheel speed sensors, brake pressure sensors, and it's also a yaw sensor, so it can detect when the car's tilting and turning. And with all of this information, it knows when to let the airbags off. Now, because we've got faults for ABS and airbag, I can only think this is all to do with that airbag module. If you remember on the Range Rover, we actually had to remove the airbag module, and Dips had to directly plug into the pins on it to cancel the crash data. And that might be the case with this Aston Martin. You normally can clear the crash data on like Volkswagen and Audi cars, like when they're a lot older, through plugging into the OBD there. But the newer the cars get, they don't want people doing that. So what they do is they sort of put a security on the car to stop you from actually clearing the crash data there, which then means you've got to entice more labour into getting the airbag module out, so then Dips can go directly onto the airbag module, bypassing that OBD, so he's effectively hacking the device.
Hacking again.
So Dips is going to find out first whether we can actually do this through the OBD.
No, they're all, so basically that icon there on the left hand, on the right hand side, shows that it's got to be red via bench mode.
I'm going to have a look under there and see if I can find it.
Yeah.
Start stripping. Fun! Okay, so we can't cancel the crash data off by just using the OBD reader. We've got to get this airbag module out, and Dips has got to read directly onto it. The problem is, this airbag module is hidden right underneath the dashboard, so it's a lot of work just to get to it.
Do you think when we get this airbag module out, you can wipe the crash data if there's anything on it?
I keep giving you cars that no one's done before.
Exactly. So, and that's but this is the whole thing, because the cars are so new, even like aftermarket programmers, aftermarket software, it's not developed for these vehicles. The only software that is developed for these vehicles is the original dealer tool. But because they're so new, like we've seen with the Lambo, it's even the dealers haven't got access to clearing it at the minute.
And this has become more and more common. The newer the cars get, the less they want DIYers to work on them. Everything has to go back to the main dealer. It's not looking like we can get to the airbag module easily. It looks like we're going to have to unbolt this whole aluminium frame which holds the dashboard to the chassis of the car, and we're hoping with that unbolted we'll be able to lift the dashboard up enough so I can get my hand underneath the dash to unplug that airbag module. This is a huge job, and again a job that wouldn't have been needed on an older car. But as I mentioned, the newer the cars get, the less DIY friendly they become. I think this is so that the brand has more control of what cars get put back on the road after an accident. The harder they are to repair, the less likely they are going to be put back on the road. And the less likely they are going to be put back on the road, the more likely the brand is to sell another one of the cars to replace the crashed one that's been taken off the road.
Yes. Yeah, we're out.
But we're fighting against it. And finally, we've got the airbag module out, which is actually a Mercedes-Benz airbag module, which could be good news for Dips, because these Mercedes airbag modules are used on a lot of older Mercs. His machine will then tell him what pins he needs to put his tool onto, and there's loads of pins on this airbag module. Then that'll read the faults that are on it.
Seatbelt pretensioner, deployment.
Once he's read the faults, we've just got to clear them.
Oh,
Failed.
But the clear failed, and we don't know why. If we're not able to clear this crash data, it looks like we may have to buy a whole new airbag module.
I bet you're right.
Yeah, good. I'm wondering if you give me a price on this part number out of the DB12. It's an airbag module.
So I haven't got a price for it. If it is that one, it's $971.98 plus the VAT.
Okay.
No, it's not doing it. You're gonna have to order one.
Here's the situation then. I've ordered an airbag module from Aston Martin. Doesn't come for 4 days. On top of that, it needs to be coded to the car. The only people that can code it to the car are Aston Martin. On top of that, they've just rang me and said there's a recall on all these DB12s for a software update. So they're going to kind of need to update the software to code it to the car. The software update takes 2 days apparently, and it's only free if you've got warranty on the car. I don't know if I've got warranty on this car because it's crash damage. So we are really in a predicament now, and it's going to go into Aston Martin's hands. So the only thing we can do at this precise moment is build this car up, because they are not going to touch it, and they're going to find any excuse for why this car don't start if we've not built it up. So we've just got to build it all up, wait for that airbag module, put the airbag module in, and then get it a complete looking car, and then hopefully they can get it going. Let's do it. Okay, let's get this bumper on. But first, it needs wrapping. Me and Kian have wrapped the majority of the car already, so it's only right to get him back to wrap the front bumper, one of the hardest parts. First, the lads are doing inlays. They're applying the wrap in areas where it won't be able to stretch to if they try to do it in all one piece. But they're going to do this in such a way that by eye, you wouldn't be able to tell it's even an inlay. I guess it's something a rapper with years of experience would know about. Next up, the lads are going to push it up against the car, and this will allow them to stretch the wrap over the front bumper without it moving all over the place. And then both of them together could get the main part of the wrap on, pushing out all the creases and all the bubbles. Again, a massive thanks to Keezy Customs for coming down and doing this, because personally, I hate wrapping. And if you ever want to get your car wrapped, then these are your guys. They've now pulled it back off the car to finish off the last little bits, and that's the front bumper complete.
looks good, doesn't it?
Yeah. Well, about as good as I would have done.
We've got to build it up now. All needs the grills, the radar connectors, everything. Parking sensors,
That's
wiring
not
in.
today's job, is it?
Well, I don't know, is it going to be your job or Matt's
Yeah,
job?
Matt likes doing that.
Yeah?
Going in. I guess I do like doing it. Finishing off the last bits of the bumper now. In goes the camera. Okay. Radar sensor. And then this sensor detects the cars in front and allows the cruise control to follow it. Radar sensor cover. And this horrible cover goes over the top of it. We've then got to bolt that all down and bolt the grille into place. After that, a lower grille goes in, which connects the front bumper to the lower splitter. We've got to slide on these Z clips, and then the grille can be bolted to the lower splitter, which me and Liam are doing. And that's about job done. Right, the bumper is assembled. Big reveal. Oh my. How's it looking? Because we've gone for the standard grille.
I think it looks nice.
Yeah, it looks classy, doesn't it?
What do you think, Liam?
Classy. Aston Martin, innit?
It does look classy.
Not be too outrageous with an Aston.
Yeah, it looks classy, because the option to have gloss black, but I thought, like, do you know, because you kind of got like the silver headlights and then like the chrome down the side, I thought, you know what, I'm a classy guy. Oh, that's got some weight to it, isn't it?
That's classy, that is.
Look, and I've gone for the original badge, not the black badge, because that's not classy, that's chav. Oh, we've got to get this bang on now, ain't we? It's not at a great angle for me to get it bang on. About there. This is a walloping badge, isn't it?
I'll say it's good.
Yeah, I think that's about good. That looks really classy, that does.
That is extremely classy.
That is extremely classy.
Yeah.
I almost want to do my calipers that colour.
Ooh,
that'd be
very classy.
That'd be so classy. What colour are they now? Red. Oh, that's charming. Bumper complete. And this really is going to make the car. All we've got to do is fit it. Now I've chose to wrap this car as opposed to paint it, but that doesn't mean in the future I could peel it all off and get the car painted. I just really like this colour of the wrap and it's perfect for daily use. That's if it starts, but that bumper has made a huge difference. Just got to make a few small adjustments to get the body lines perfect, and that's almost job done there.
It's a good looking car.
Looks sick, doesn't it? That looks sick. That looks like a glass of champagne.
That is a classy looking car.
It is. It is. When it goes to Aston Martin, and they are saying that they're not going to do the update for free unless it has warranty. And it might not have warranty if it's been involved in an accident, and what they probably would do is just go on Car Vertical, put the reg in, and then see, oh, this car's had an accident. Now, another thing we're going to change is the A-pillar trim. You see on the left side, it's gloss black, but on the right side, where all the damage was, we replaced the black one for a carbon fibre one. Take off the gloss one, the gloss black one, and we'll upgrade it to matte carbon to match the mirrors as well. Race car. Classy race car. Now the strange thing about the history on this DB12 is that we can see that the Car Vertical report was pretty much all good, apart from the car is written off as a category S. And you can see on the Car Vertical report that the date was unknown when the damage was. Yes. And we found out that the car was crashed on a PDI inspection before the car was even registered to go on the road. So we assumed to claim for insurance, the car had to be registered on the road and then declared as damaged. And after that, that's when I bought it. Another cool thing about Car Vertical is that if your car was in an accident, sometimes it'll even show you the photos of when the car was auctioned off of the car crash auction website. So you can see exactly where the damage was, which is good to know. And in the meantime, I've got the A-pillar trim on. So if you want to check your car out, click the link in the description box below and use code MATT for discount on that check on Car Vertical. Let's get the rear screen in.
Step 1, primer with a nice spongy applicator. It's rock hard. Step 2, put the primer on the screen. Step 3, glue. Step 4, putting the screen in. Are you holding it on that?
We've got to make sure the screen is perfectly aligned and then use tape to hold it in place. So here is the new airbag module from Aston Martin, £940 something plus VAT, and this has got to be coded to the car. The only thing we can do is put this in and try it. The worst that's going to happen is the airbags blow up. Now, interestingly, the old airbag module is a different part number to the new airbag module. What that means, I don't know. But all we do know is that these modules are locked to the VIN number of the car. So it's impossible to buy a second-hand one and get it working with your car. But this module will be virginized, so it's not coded to anything at the minute. But there is potential it might work without the coding. Shall we test the theory?
Can I go out the car?
Nope. So far, so good. Ready? We're looking for the start-stop button to illuminate red. No. But it didn't. But after I plugged my diagnostic tool in, we found something. Right, crash engine start block because of crash event. Okay, let's try it. Come on, come on, come on. We can see that starting the car is blocked due to a crash event. But it's giving me the option now to reset it. But when we tried, it failed.
Was not completed successfully.
Damn. But at least we know now why the car won't start. There seems to be some kind of safety shut-off after a crash event, just like the Revolto we're working on. But maybe because I'm scanning the car as a Mercedes and not as an Aston Martin because my tool won't let me, we're not actually able to reset it. So it just looks like the case now of continuing to rebuild up the whole car so it's fully complete, and then we've got to hope that Aston Martin can actually reset that crash data. Next thing to go in, the windscreen. On goes the primer, on the screen, and on the actual car. Then the adhesive gets put on, and me and my dad can lift in the windscreen. Again, we've got to make sure that this is perfectly aligned. Once it is, we tape it to hold it down. Next up, this A-pillar, which was actually damaged from the curtain airbag going off. And this was one of them parts which we would have to wait absolutely ages for because it has to be a special trim for the car. But we did find one with white leather on, so we ordered the one with white leather, and then we're going to take the leather off the broken one and add it to the white leather one, and hopefully then we'll have a decent A-pillar trim. Let's go. So here are the two trims that we've got. The black trim has damage to it, which you can see here, but the white trim doesn't. So the lads are removing the white leather off the undamaged trim.
Look at that, I did that all by myself.
And they've then got to pull the black leather off the damaged trim. But they're going to be reusing this leather, so it's important not to damage it.
There we go.
And after that, they're going to apply some adhesive spray to the undamaged A-pillar and then stick the black leather onto that. I'm not sure how much an A-pillar trim would have been from Aston Martin themselves, but I know we would have had to wait a long time for one. So this not only saves time, it saves money as well. And the outcome isn't bad at all, so well done to the lads on that one. Now, I can refit it. It slides up into the car, clips into place, and there's a few bolts which hold it in. And that is the interior, pretty much complete. Final pieces. And if this car starts up, we don't want it to overheat. And we're about to find out whether we've successfully put on all those radiators okay and all the coolant hoses okay, because as long as all those radiators are there, there's two coolant reservoirs. One, this one, I believe is for the engine coolant. So this keeps the engine cool, goes around the engine cooling radiator. That one's there. This one, I believe, is for all the boost system. So all of the cooling for the two turbos that are on there. I think we've got a vacuum fill on both, and also we'll be able to tell whether we've got any leaks now, because if we do, I am gonna not be very happy. Now, you guys have seen us do this plenty of times before, and I suggest if you haven't, now's a good time to hit the subscribe button, especially if you've been enjoying all these impossible rebuilds. So what we're doing is vacuum filling the coolant, blowing air across the coolant system, which in turn creates a vacuum in there, sucking all the air from it. And you can see the negative pressure building up here on the gauge. And what we're looking for is that negative pressure to hold, to show no leak. Yeah. But it weren't looking good. Look, yeah, we've got a leak. We have got a leak somewhere.
That's one of these pipes.
There's a hole in this one. So we think we've got a hole in this pipe because we lost vacuum really quick. Oh yeah, there we go. And that is why we vacuum tested first, because that would have been coolant all over the floor. One tiny little hole in this pipe, but we've got a plan.
There it is!
This pipe was actually a lot bigger than we first anticipated. It goes off into a T-piece and then right down underneath the car. My dad's cutting off the one-use clamp, as it was just a lot easier to do that way. Then I could pull it off over the coolant pipe and remove it from the T-piece. And instead of buying a whole new one, I think I had a solution. The bit that had the hole in, I cut through it. So now the hose is that much shorter, but it might work. It might actually work. Give it a go. It weren't the straightest cut because I didn't think it was going to work. So now the hose is slightly shorter, but with no holes in it. I'm going to fit it back onto the car just to make sure it's not straining anything, and it still does actually work. Then fit 2 new clamps and refit all the other hoses I had to remove to get to it, fit back on the air filter, and give it another vacuum test. And this time, things were looking good.
Oh, look at that.
It's looking good.
Good.
Now, I don't think it's that vital to actually vacuum fill this car. The only reason you vacuum fill it is if you've got radiators right at the front of a car and you fill in the coolant at the back, you get a big airlock in. But because this coolant reservoir tanky thing is so high up at the front, most of the air will go out anyway. But that's a good way of telling if there's any holes in your hoses without making a mess and finding out by pouring coolant all over the floor. And look at that, it's collapsed, stayed collapsed. My hose bodgery worked. No one would know. No one is gonna know, apart from every single person watching. All that was left to do was add the coolant. With all the negative pressure inside the cooling system, we can attach this hose, which goes into a coolant bottle, and when you open the tap, it will suck all the coolant through. And for the coolant in the boost system, we just decided to pour it in, as the vacuum filler didn't seem to fit onto that coolant reservoir. But as there was no leaks at the bottom, things were looking good. We just had to do the last final bits, like put the wiper blades on and the scuttle panel, and the car was pretty much complete. Right, that is it. We have almost completed the DB12. There's a few final things we need to do. Let's go see it. That looks absolutely unreal. It's one of the best looking cars we've ever finished, and it doesn't even run. Now, we're doing what I didn't want to do. We're going to the main dealer because it's out of our hands now. God knows what they're going to charge us, and God knows whether they can even do it themselves anyway. This is something that not even Aston Martin have attempted yet. It's a crashed DB12. It doesn't use any software from any other car. It's only DB12 software. I could only have everything crossed now because who knows when this car's going to be back. This is it. It's down to the main dealer now. It's out of our hands. This could be insanely expensive or just a 5-minute job for them. We can only hope.
Right, let's just go see if we can get it going. Full start.
We're not seeing, we are. Yeah. It's gonna get going.
Yeah. Get Mr. Date.
Yeah. I reckon plug in, crash data cleared, and it's gonna go. Yeah. We'll see.
I'm not saying it will start.
No.
I mean, we can give it a go.
Right, she's at Aston Martin now, and they're gonna try and give her a go today and plugging it in and see if we can get her going. It could be the case of just clearing crash data, clearing all the faults, and then it might start. That's plan A, but plan B is might be staying here. Fingers crossed. Let's see what the guys can do. We're waiting. Anxiously waiting. Can they do it in a day, or are we gonna have to leave it? In the meantime, we're looking at very expensive ones. Extremely expensive ones. You're joking?
Yeah, it's going. If you want to come.
You're a hero. Oh my god. Within a matter of 10 minutes, the car was running. Look at her. She's actually running. We were defeated. We were defeated. The whole point is we try and avoid the main dealer, but sometimes you have to give in. This is like, it's what it's come to. They want you to take the cars to the main dealer because DIYers, they don't want DIYs. But we're about to take her on a first drive, just for a little rip round. The fix was literally clearing the crash data. That's all it needed to do. It needed that new airbag module in there, so we needed to do that. It needed to code the airbag module to the car, then clear the crash data. But because we've fitted loads of new stuff, the guys have said that it's got loads of lights on the dash, so we don't know how well it's going to drive. It might be in limp mode, but I'm excited. The DB12 is actually running.
I can't believe it runs.
I can't. No way. We've got every light on the dash. Oh yeah, it is getting a bit hot.
It's getting hot.
Yeah. Look, there's a temperature gauge on there, look.
Quick, we need to cool it down by driving it.
It's driving? It's driving. It doesn't sound the healthiest, I've got to admit. This is the first time this car's actually drove since the accident. Oh yeah, we're definitely in a limp mode.
Really?
Yeah. It feels well smooth, doesn't it?
Lovely.
Oh yeah, what a car. We're driving the DB12, my new Aston Martin, for the first time. We've just put on, I don't know how many miles it's got on it now. 41 miles, guys. 41 miles. And the best part about this, I think we grabbed a bargain. The DB12 was £60,000. We already spent £62,000 in parts, which totaled to £122,000. And the only thing extra we had to buy was this airbag module for £940, which brings the total for this DB12 of £122,940. And if you look for a DB12 around this mileage now, they're over £170,000. We've just got to collect the final bill up from Aston Martin for actually starting the car. But because of this, I think one car has got to go, and it's got to go to one of you guys. My Aston Martin Vantage. I didn't want to have to do it, but now one of you are going to be joining the Aston Martin Owners Club. What a car this Vantage has been, and I've had it for so long now, but now it's time for one of you to continue the journey for just £9.95. 1 week left. The live draw is next week. One Aston Martin in, one Aston Martin out. I've kept this Vantage for such a long time now, and I just hope the DB12 can live up to how good this Vantage was. So I'm sure one of you guys are going to enjoy it. Thanks so much for watching this video. If you've enjoyed it, hit the subscribe button, hit that thumbs up button, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.
We're trying to find a piece of foam that got sucked into the fan. This was ages ago. It just went, sucked itself in.
That exact sound effect when it went in.
Yeah, like that.
Like a drug that I